Hi friends, this is Caitlin. I'm so excited to be back with you. And today I'm making a card with this new Out of This World stamp set from Pink and Mean, made in collaboration with Mommy Lay. And I have this absolutely beautiful chunky glitter. It's called Mystic Forest. There you go. And we're going to be making a really fun shaker card with this. So today is actually the Pink and Mean August release day. You can go check out, there's an Instagram hop if you want, or I will leave a link in the description to the new release. You can go check it out and see if anything speaks to you. But I love the stamp set because to me it's perfect for boys and girls, younger kids, older kids. My husband loves alien stuff and TV shows, so I would totally even use this for him. I think space is such a kind of like open concept for card making. I just think it fits a lot of different situations, lots of occasions. But we're going to be making a really fun galaxy background for this card. So I am starting out with some of my Pink and Mean inks. They don't have a lot of colors of ink, but this was one of the times when I felt like these colors were perfect. So I'm going in with Barber was that first blue. This one is either Lakeside or Lakeview. I always call it the wrong one, and then I question myself of if it's right or wrong. But the whole point is that we're going in and creating these like splotches of these brighter colors. We want to build up that color so it's pretty intense. You don't have to worry about getting a smooth blend because we're going to go in with black on top. This isn't a new technique. I've seen lots of other people do it. I've tried it before. I just don't do it often, and I thought it would be fun to kind of bring this up and also show it to you as a shaker background element. Because to me, the combination of the shaker and the glitter and the stars and then the galaxy background is what really makes everything kind of pop and come together on this card. So I also went in with Night Sky is the purple and Dress Shop is the pink. And then I brought in Black Soot Distress ink, and I am doing a very like splotchy application with that as well. You kind of want to bring in the color from the edges and connect it in a few places across the middle, but you want to still leave sections where your brighter colors pop through. And by using the oxides, I find that it just gives it a softer look. I like the oxides versus going in with a regular ink on top, but you can try both or either. And then I went in with my Distress sprayer, and if you pull the trigger very slowly, you get these bigger splotches. So I picked up the extra water with a paper towel, and I'm going in now with my Dr. P.H. Martin's No Bleed White, adding a little bit of water to that and kind of mixing it up on my glass mat, and going in with a teeny tiny, very skinny brush and tapping. And by using a really small brush, I'm going to get a bunch of these teeny tiny little dots, which are going to be my stars. The bigger the brush, the bigger your drops are going to be, which is totally fine if you're looking for something that's a little more dramatic and like bold. Then use a bigger brush and you'll have bigger stars, or you can do a combination. So I set that to the side to dry, and I'm just going to wipe up the white ink from my glass mat. I haven't talked a lot about this glass mat, but I am definitely loving it. It makes everything much easier. It's easier to clean. I go through less printer paper. So if you've thought about one, it is a little bit of an investment, but I do like it. So I stamped out my images with Honeybee Stamps Intense Black ink on Copic Express It paper, my usual go-to combination. And I'm going to be coloring all of these elements to kind of match the colors we used in the background. So I'm going like a blue, purple, pink, and a little bit of teal, and definitely bringing in some gray. The exception is going to be for the turtle's face. I did pull in some green for that, and I think it's nice because it kind of helps him to stand out. But yeah, this one is just really cute, just kind of blending, creating my shadows towards the outside of each little section, and then going lighter as we move towards the center for this little planet. It's funny because it's like kind of like Saturn with the rings, but also the blobs kind of give Earth continent vibes. So I love that it's just kind of a planet, right? Like there isn't a specific one. So it can be whatever you want. For my spaceship, I'm bringing in those cool grays, adding a lot of depth and shading to the outer part. And then in between these little kind of like rainbow shapes on the bottom, we'll bring in, we started with C7, we'll jump up to C5, and then we'll bring in some C3, I believe. And just, again, pulling that color, you want that center stripe to be your like brightest area. And what else can I tell you? This is just such a fun release. August is always great because it's like the start of fall and even like a little touch of Halloween. So if you love fall and Halloween like I do, please go check out the release. It's just so cute. What have we been doing this month? I had the Cardmaker Success Summit last weekend, which was very exciting. Thank you to everybody who watched my class. And if you're here from that, thank you so much. I saw a little bump in subscribers, so I definitely appreciate you being here. I should say it's been a long time. I was watching some older videos of mine, like just looking back with my kids, and it's been a minute since I've asked anybody to subscribe. So if you aren't subscribed yet and you're just like hanging out watching my videos, I would love you to subscribe. It helps support my channel. It's an easy, free thing you can do to support the creators that you love. I'd love to see you more often. Okay, so for my little astronaut here, I am going in with the purple. I figured the planet had a lot of the blue and pink, and then the UFO had that teal and a lot of gray. So I wanted my astronaut to have more color versus in like being in like a white, right, like US astronaut suit. So I did purple for the body and the legs. I'm bringing in a little of that gray for the arms just because I thought a little bit of contrast would be nice, not everything being completely bright purple, and that it would help tie in the gray on the UFO as well. And I made the top part of his helmet purple too. And I just love these purples. These are like my go-to Copic purples. That V09, V17, and V15. I wanted to bring in that blue a little bit here too. So his hat is going to be blue, and the pink is the little like dials or designs on the front of his little suit. We'll color the space in between the helmet and the hat nice and dark so it looks, like hollow and shadowed in there. And then this is where I was saying I'm bringing in that green. I did not realize my YG17 was basically dead. So I need to replace that now. And then I did YG07, YG13, and then YG01 just for that extra little brightness. Then, of course, I went in with my white gel pen, adding some highlights to the eyes and over his little helmet. So it looks like he has that glass screen in front of his face. And then I didn't want the planet to feel left out. So I added a few little dots just around its ring. I don't know why. I don't know what that would be, but it just seemed cute. And then I realized he has these little turtle spots on his face. So I went in with a dark brown marker to fill that in. I used the coordinating dies to cut these out. And the nice thing is this die set also has coordinating sentiment dies. Mommy Lay's sets with Pink and Main usually do, and I love that. I also love that Pink and Main dies come pre-separated, so you don't have to worry about using wire snips. Michelle has some a pre-existing, that's not the right way to say it. Michelle has limitations on what she can do with her hand strength. That's the best way I think to put it. So she's very mindful of making sure that her products are very easy to use for people who might have similar concerns. I'm going in with my embossing ink And I also did a layer of the white Simon Says Stamp pigment ink. And then I added some frosting white embossing powder from Pink and Main as well onto my black cardstock. And like I said before, we're going to use the coordinating die to cut out that sentiment. If you notice my lighting is a little different in this video, I had misplaced my normal light that goes on the left side and was using a ring light. So if you don't love it or you notice it's a little weird, don't worry. We'll go back to normal next week. I cut up a piece of packaging from one of my stamp sets and made sure it was just a little bit bigger than my background panel. And I'm going in with this really thin, I think it's a 1/4 inch. It might even be 1/8 of an inch. I'm not positive. This was like leftover from an event. But double-sided tape across the back, and I'm going to line up my packaging and just one at a time fold my sides over until we have only one side left open. I usually like to leave one of the shorter sides as the side that's open, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to trim off the extra little tails that creates, the little triangles in the corner, just so that when we do lay this down, it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to pour some of the chunky glitter into my little shaker pouch. And I'm also going to be borrowing some glow-in-the-dark stars from, or I guess bringing in glow-in-the-dark stars from This Calls for Confetti. I love these stars because they glow super bright. They're the brightest glow clay pieces I've ever used, and I absolutely love them. So we close up that last side. Once they're in there, shake everything around, make sure everything's moving really nicely. And because that glitter is like thinner and more fine, even though it's chunky, but it's not deep, right? It's just like, it's easy to move around. Nothing's really getting stuck. And even those star clay pieces are pretty thin as far as clay pieces go. So there's really good movement, even though this is like a flat shaker. So I added wider double-sided tape to the back. We're going to pop this onto our black cardstock so we have just that tiny little mat. And I just kind of played around for a while figuring out where I wanted all of my elements to go. I'm going to add my double-sided tape to the back of these. I just find that that's so much easier than trying to deal with liquid glue on this plastic. Things kind of slip and slide around until the glue dries. So double-sided tape just makes everything nice and easy. We're putting the sentiment right in the center. I love how bright white that turned out against that black cardstock. I think it really pops. And then once we had all that in place, I wanted to go back in and add a couple more stars to the outside. I've been really enjoying this lately, adding a few of my shaker elements to the outside as well, so they're kind of like locked in place. And then this is ready to go on an A2 sized card base. And I am going to show you what it looks like with the lights off, because that, in my opinion, is when it's most impressive. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today. I hope you are inspired to create your own spacey card maybe. Like I said, please go check out the Instagram hop happening for Pink and Main. It enters you in a chance to win a gift card. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I will see you back here next week with another card. And until then, happy crafting.